are Art of War.
And we believe in creating a community where people can talk about, learn, and improve their skills at Warhammer 40K.
Our channel has live stream competitive matches of 40K, played by the best players in the world.
And we focus on teaching you how to get better at Warhammer, while also emphasizing sportsmanship and engagement with our audience.
We strive to play every faction in the game to a top level, while also using a variety of lists to show off different playstyles for every faction.
We also offer a variety of other videos such as codex reviews, faction rankings, tactics videos.
When you join our channel, you become part of our community, where we emphasize learning and positive conversation about competitive 40K.
You get early access to our videos, sub badges, emotes, as well as rewatch those hangout and hobby sessions.
Joining our community is a great way for you to show your support for us, so we can keep making awesome videos for you and continuously expand the bounds of competitive 40K.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Hangout and Hobby. I'm Richard Siegler.
I'm John Lennon.
He's the man. The man, John Lennon.
I'm the man. The man with the plan.
Wow, John, is there so much exciting stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
We got chapter approved, we were talking about it on Monday, and we were less enthused, and then all of a sudden Games Workshop put out a ton of great free content, and now we are enthused.
Yep,
We're back.
Today's FAQ is exactly what I needed to be excited about the last week of rules updates, because oh boy am I excited.
This is a great place to be. So there's a lot to go through. We're going to go through some of the stuff and read it, because I haven't sat through and read through all the different FAQs.
Ha!
John probably has.
Sure, of course I have.
Yep. He's been painting Deathwatch. He's been reading.
That's all I've been doing for the past
John is actually just plugged into the mainframe of the Art of War Streamhouse.
I am.
There's like a little servitor hole, and he just gets in there. Plugged directly in.
You know the little servitor at the bottom of the Ballistari? Like there's the dude who rides it, and then there's the servitor who's plugged in. He's like,
yep. He's inside.
Yeah, he's inside the mainframe. That's me.
So I got the binoculars, and then John is.
I'm inside the mainframe.
John's in the data hold.
Absolutely.
But we're going to get to that. But first, we have a $5 super chat from our very loyal member, Kyle Norman. Thank you so much, Kyle. We really appreciate your continued support of the channel every time.
Thank you so much, Kyle. You are a champion of the first.
Every day is like Christmas with these days. New codex, chapter approved, FAQs.
Well,
it's all coming.
After a very long
we had
winter
a drought.
of no holidays at all,
we had a drought.
I will take a couple days of Christmas.
This was this is the
long
longest
time
winter we've had.
But now we're in a good spot. Now the sun is shining. Drukhari are getting nerfed.
They're getting nerfed.
Just say it again. Drukhari getting nerfed. Yes,
especially the things that needed nerf.
That's true. Their
like
nerfs did not
the top 3 things that John and I both agreed on. 100%.
I had a top 5 and they hit 4 of them. And honestly, that's about as good as I could expect. And the one that they didn't do was honestly the least important, even though it was annoying.
Well, why don't we start with what they didn't do for your top 5, and then we'll go.
So the one thing they missed, in my opinion, was the mixing detachments. However, that definitely didn't seem like it was unintended. I just hate it.
Yeah.
You can just still soup detachment with Drukhari, but it's a little less offensive because Dark Technomancers are no longer as offensive, and that was one of the main ways people were souping, was here's my troop racks and a succubus.
Or Drazar.
You're
just like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, Drazar still works, of course, anyway, because he's like a mercenary, but overall, very positive improvement.
You didn't have to take a Moculus or anything
No.
like that.
No. Yeah, that was always like a little
strange.
silly.
Yeah.
It was having a succubus. It's not only just like having a mercenary, it's having a specific other faction mixed and just not doing anything, and it's like, okay.
We got a £10 super chat from Matt. Hey guys, hope all is well. Let's talk about that FAQ. We are indeed. Thank you so much for your support, Matt. Glad to see you.
We're going to be talking about it today.
So,
oh my goodness.
Why don't we start with Drukhari, John? Break it down. What are those 4 big changes that happened that you really wanted to happen to bring Drukhari
4 big
down?
changes that made me happy. In order of ones
specifically
that made
John
me
happy. It was
made John happy. That was the point.
It was in the italics text.
Absolutely. 1, Raider went up 10 points. 10 was kind of my minimum of like 5 isn't enough. It needs to be at least 10. 10 is what they did. I'm okay with 10. 10 is a good starting point. It's enough for now. 2, the triple patrol is now 12 CP starting, not 14. You don't get a benefit. You just don't take the downside. Totally fine with that. You know, Dark Eldar have unique sub-faction rules, so I'm okay with them using multiple attachments a little more freely than the rest of us. but not at the expense of also I gain 2 CP. So I'm really glad they removed that. Number 3, and actually I guess with Raiders going up, we should mention that Drazzer went up 10 points as well. Happy about that. Number 3 is the Razor Succubus got toned down. And that was actually in a main rulebook FAQ where making additional attacks, it never does more than 1 hit roll, ever. It's always, if you make an additional attack, it's 1 hit roll at most. That's totally fine. I love that. Number 4, Raquifiers. Dark Technomancer can no longer use their overcharge ability on liquefiers or twin liquefiers. Just cannot target them. And I love it. I love that.
Makes total sense. If you don't roll the hit, you
don't roll the hit, you don't get to overcharge. And that's what they did. And I was like, oh, this is much better. And thank you. We are very grateful for our high James Workshop overlords. Thank you, James.
Anything else that you would have liked to seen happen?
You know what? I'm always cautious of an FAQ going too hard. You know, we always complain like, this army's broken, and then it's an FAQ, and they nerfed it. It's so terrible. I do not think that's what happened here. I think Drukhari are still very good. I'm okay with Drukhari being a recent codex and one of the better armies in the game. I'm alright with that. I understand that all, 20 factions will not be equal all the time, and I'm okay with that.
You don't want Drukhari standing head and shoulders above?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want him head and shoulders. It feels a lot more reasonable for everyone else to play against Drukhari, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to feel like there was game, there was play. It wasn't just an automatic foregone conclusion like, well, Drukhari against someone else, Drukhari are going to get this. Because that's kind of how it felt sometimes. So I was pleased overall. And then some of the changes to Fight Last abilities are also a little bit of a nerf to Dark Eldar. Because and that'll be, I'm sure we'll talk about some of the generic rulings as well, but basically Fight First is the same thing as charging now. So if you charge and you get hit by a Fight Last, you don't fight last, you just don't fight as if you charged.
Yep.
Although you still get like shock assault and stuff like that, but you don't fight first as if you charge. And now it goes back to a neutral standing instead of just a literal I always fight last.
Yep.
And that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal because charging in now is even more valuable than it was.
So it's what's interesting is charging is more valuable in general.
Yep.
But fight last is not valueless because what used to happen was if something charged in and it didn't fight first, and it got hit by a fight last, it fought at the very end of the phase, everyone, friendly and enemy, got to swing first.
Yep.
So obviously that sucked. And now if you charge in, it offsets and you go to just fighting like normal, which is as if you didn't charge, but you don't fight last. So it's better now. But what's worse and what makes a fight last better is if you were charging in with a fight first ability, you got hit by fight, you were fighting first, they got hit by fight last. And that canceled off, and you were like, well, now it's default. Well, my default is I just charged you, so now I'm back.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, that's now, since it's just 2 different fight first and 1 fight last, you just still cancel out and you fight as if you didn't charge.
Yep.
So now a fight first unit charging a fight last unit is actually worse for the charger than before, but a not fight first unit charging a fight last is better than before.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting combination there. So don't think anything lost value, it's just all different. I think Fight Last is still very valuable. It's just no longer the end of the line that it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be if you were able to engage one area to fight last on your opponent, and then the other area you activate first, you were going to do crippling damage.
Well, that's still the same thing, actually.
Yeah, then the reverse.
Fails. Yeah.
The reverse side of things, now on your side of things, you can actually engage that Fight Last area on your turn much more effectively.
Yeah, I think offensively, Fight Last hasn't changed at all as a useful weapon. It's great to have. But defensively, there's
a little more counterplay.
It's worse into the average, better into fight first.
Yep.
So it's a weird combo, which is also a small nerf to Cult of Strife, because I think fight first got less valuable because it's just charging now.
Yep.
So Cult of Strife is no longer quite as necessary as before, and that's good because they were by far the most popular sub faction for Witch Cult. Not even close. It's like them and Dark Technomancers were automatic, and then you thought about the other faction. You kind of like flirted with another Cabal before you chose Blackheart, but like there was a conversation. But it was just like, all right, here's my Strife, here's my Technomancer. Let me think about what my Cabal will be. All good changes, I think. I'm just very, very pleased with the overall what they've done here.
Yeah, I think this is clearly where a lot of the work has been going.
Yes, and that's reassuring to see.
Yep, they have not forgotten about the current meta.
Yeah, they have not forgotten about FAQs. Because it had been a minute. We hadn't gotten a good FAQ in a while, and this was very, very good. Yeah, honestly, those are the things I'm most excited about.
Let's
We
see.
got
We got a
going
lot
here.
of questions in the
I
chat.
bet we do. I bet we do.
What is in my AdMech list for tomorrow? Well, those lists are going to be coming up soon, but just a spoiler, I am going to be running Mars shooting, so I got some Cerberus Raiders in there, Iron Striders, and one of those Skitarii Marshals. And then it is going to be supported by a Lucius board control detachment of Battalion with 60 Rangers in there, and I've got Taraxi. They really love that plus 3-inch range. I've got some Rust Stalkers. Would love to try out the Infiltrators, but have not got the chance to build them yet, so soon. And then I got a bunch of characters in there as well to help buff them. And I love having access to the Teleport, the Transhuman on the unit that can also ignore AP 1 and 2 and be in cover. It's just so powerful. And +1 saving throws against damage 1 weapons. I'm a huge fan of Lucius board control. So,
Do you see an Incursor anywhere? Besides these 4.
is it under here? It's my first thing to check.
I don't see him.
Is it on the floor?
It's possible. But I can't rule it out.
Where's the Incursor?
He's incursing too hard.
Dude, he's a stealthy man. He's right here.
Aha, there
I
he
found
is.
him. You're not stealthy enough for me.
He blends
not
in.
too stealthy
I managed
for
to
me to
spend 6 different paints to make him blend in with unpainted Spro. Incredible.
That's how you do it.
That's what you want to do.
That's Deathwatch. That you need to be that sneaky against
You
Xenos,
do.
John.
You need to be very sneaky to properly kill Eldar.
But the full list and full details are going to be coming out soon. But basically, it's a mix of the Mars list I ran last week and then the Lucius list I ran in the War Room. I basically combined the two concepts
Exciting
to
to
try
see.
and get the best of both
Very
worlds.
exciting to see that.
But I'll be playing into Mr. Jack Harpster's Deathwatch, which John's
Deathwatch
finishing right now.
Yeah, we're working on that right now. You can tell I've got a long night ahead of me. But that's okay. We're going to get it done.
The command points lost are actually pretty big compared to the points changes. I mean, 2 CP, Drukhari have amazing strats. So
Yeah,
starting with 2 less means they can't.
You mean starting with the same as everyone else?
The same as everybody else, yes.
Let's not...
Except for the Silent King lists.
That's
Those
true.
lists. But they spend a lot of points to get those extra CP.
Yeah, that's a little different.
It's a little different. But it is cool. Just walking up and like, oh, cool, I got 15 command points.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flex.
Do you remember... Let's see. They missed Kronos with the Dark Technomancer change.
That is correct. It's liquefiers and twin liquefiers. So yes, Kronos 100% do still get to use it. And that Kronos are very good, but the Kronos feel a little bit less oppressive than everything else. So that's okay. They're good enough to take. And Nick was planning to take some to the Atlantic City Open. Yep. So we'll have to see what ends up developing with that event and whether or not they use these new rules. It's a little up in the air right now. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But
personally, I'm hoping so, just because I don't want to play in the current meta.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing.
I don't like
either.
staying back in the past.
No, the future's exciting. I say we leap into it. But I agree. Like Kronos do look very good, but I don't think Dark Eldar needed to lose all their good stuff. They just needed to lose
the obvious,
a certain few.
Yeah.
So good, happy changes for me all around. I am pleased.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that we're never gonna see this stuff again.
Exactly. Like people will still take Raiders.
Yep.
People will still take Drazar. Dark Technomancer, Liquefier Racks are probably not going to be popular.
No.
But that's okay. I don't think anyone's like really missing that part of the faction.
No, I don't think anybody wanted to.
That one guy who's like been painting up like Liquefier Racks for like 5 years is like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I really am. But
I hope you went to a tournament the last time.
I hope you did,
like
yeah.
2 months.
I genuinely hope that they put these changes in for ACO. That will just make me feel a lot better about the state of the meta.
And then that becomes the first event to really put this new meta to the test, which I love.
Exactly.
Makes it really exciting.
Oh yeah, that'd be super cool.
We got Matt O with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate your support.
Matt O, you're a hero.
Do you think, and before I get to your question, we have not forgotten about your other sub-match, the Cult of Strife versus the Tyranid monsters. It is going to happen. We're hoping to get the rest of the Witch Cult stuff shortly.
Yeah.
From our sponsor, Golden Globe Gaming. And so, do you think Legion locking the Chaos Powers Warp Time knocked the faction down a peg in the power rankings?
Yes.
100%.
They were not the worst army in the game. I actually think Chaos Space Marines are now worse than than Tau. I don't know about Gene Short Cult. The jury's still out. But I think that Tau went up a little power here, just by virtue of Chaos Space Marines being so incredibly sad.
It's really because Chaos is a soup faction by and large. You don't really see pure Thousand Sons. Death Guard is the one you do see pure, and that's just because they have a 9th edition rule set that's actually quite potent. But by and large, most other ones are souped. And
I think it was very unnecessary from a balance perspective, but was very necessary from a mechanics perspective.
Yeah.
Chaos has kind of thrived, and this is not their fault. So
No,
this is
this is a long time coming.
Yeah, the Chaos has thrived on weird rules interactions from different codexes that probably weren't intended, only because their intended rules are suboptimal. And that's because they're old.
Mediocre.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chaos players. This is not personal. I have for a long time said that I really want Warp Time to be cult lock or Legion locked. However, I've always said that I want that to come at the same time as other buffs.
Yes. Like, I would have loved to see the extra wound there.
If they had put the extra wound in with this FAQ, that would have made it feel a lot better. Instead, it's just a nerf for Chaos, and I'm sorry, guys. Just a nerf.
Don't worry, after the stream, we'll be cackling in our Imperium channel.
Absolutely, that's absolutely true. That's 100%. I'm feigning sympathy for our Chaos, but where were you? Where were you when Istvan fell?
But yes, I don't think pure Chaos is in a great spot. The pure Chaos Space Marines.
No, it's quite unfortunate for them. I don't think.
There go those Mortarion builds.
Oh my god, yeah. Souping Mordian is like, and he's slow again. It's like, nope.
It's also just allying in. I mean, you could still do the mortal spam list, but allying in to try and get a mobility element with warp time. And that was a really big part of getting princes and stuff in range.
Yeah, it's warp time, and yeah, mixing soup legions was oh man.
So, Chaos did not come off well. Tau, on the other hand, confirmed Monka allows you to fall back and shoot. Already ruled that way at ACO, but now you don't have to worry about it. Events will be ruling that way. So thanks to this FAQ. So huge. Honestly, Tau without that is the worst faction in the game, and you saw that in the early part of the year. Their win rate has been slowly increasing because of the previous rounds of FAQs, and now I think they will continue to rise.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely
that's fair. Like,
Tau being an army that's able to fall back and shoot across the board does not upset me.
Once again, it's units that are within 6 of a character, and only Farsight can pop it twice. Yeah. So it's not I just fall back and shoot like old 8th edition.
Yeah. Would you like to hear something hilarious, by the way?
Sure.
So immediately after the Warp Time nerf came down, people were like asking me, like, can you use the Chaos Familiar spell on Mortarion to have him switch into Warp Time so that he can know Warp Time?
Change that strat too?
No. However, it replaces Heretic Stars with Legion, and you cannot replace the Legion keyword with Death Guard. So, do not do that on Mortarion because his spells will target no one. You can't replace Legion with Thousand Sons or Death Guard in anything in the Chaos Space Marine Codex. You can with Forge World units, but the Chaos Space Marine Codex has a specific clause of you cannot replace with Fallen or Death Guard or Thousand Sons.
Interesting.
So they really didn't want Mortarion Warp Time into himself, and it just kind of worked out that the rule that they wrote 5 years ago was preventing that. They very clearly do not want Mortarion being Warp Timed.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for Mortarion. I feel you. But also, I do not miss seeing that crazy guy go across the table at me.
I honestly didn't mind because them running Morty was just like, oh, you put a point sync into your list. I like it. Quarter your list.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it was a little silly, I thought.
Airman just follows around.
Airman and Mortarion are the best of friends.
They're the best.
They're like a buddy cop series.
Not as good as Orican and Trazen, though.
No one's as good as Orican and Trazen. The Infinite and the Divine.
Do autocannons have play on Iron Striders, or Las Ballistari too strong? I think the autocannons do, because they also got buff, like 6 shots.
Yeah, they're great.
And they're cheaper. 100%, I think they're good. I just prefer in the meta that we have in this house, which is very vehicle heavy right now.
You're welcome.
Laser cannons.
You're welcome.
So, las cannons do the work against the dreads.
Yeah, autocannons.
Jack found out when I picked up 3 of his Redemptors in a turn.
Those are Jack Redemptors. Nick Redemptors die, Jack Redemptors die.
Your Redemptors died yesterday.
No, they didn't.
They
They live eternal in Valhalla.
In Valhalla. They went to the graveyard of Dreadnoughts. To be replaced by Brother Tinnitus.
Brother Tinnitus! That's only
a-
the Dark Angels are we putting Brother Tinnitus in.
Come on, there you got to be an Ultramarine one. That's what it shows on the box, John.
Yeah, okay. No.
He's a special character for the Ultramarines.
Yeah, it's very simple. I don't get an invuln or rerolls. Nope.
Master Artisan, right?
I mean, yeah, but like everyone gets Master Artisan. I can get Master Artisan and reroll ones. Why would I choose to just have Master Artisans?
Have been run over by 3 liquefied spam lists over the 2 weekends. Not sad at all. Wow, Adam, They will not hurt you anymore. You're safe.
No.
You're in a safe place.
You're safe, sweet prince. Good night.
You're safe to continue your math without liquefier racks hanging over your head.
And the math says Ultramarines.
Is the change of the way Chaos powers like warp time going Legion specific actually the biggest change? No, because Chaos wasn't a dominant part of the meta.
No, not the way Dark Eldar were.
Yeah, Dark Eldar is the biggest change.
But it is big.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, honestly. I think this was a very good change to make at the same time as the Chaos Space Marine Codex. Because let's be honest here, we all knew that Warp Time was going to be for Thousand Suns if it exists in the Thousand Suns Codex.
Yeah.
Like we knew that was coming. Because Death Guard
It's
did the
not
same
going to
thing.
explicitly, allow you to do it on Morty too. Like that was just never going to happen.
Yeah. It's not going to be
Thousand Suns and Morty.
And Mortarion. Womp, womp, womp.
We gotta. The Morty Magnus dream has to be alive.
Oh, it's dead.
It's such a meme.
It is. It is such a meme.
Evan with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Evan. And asking about the Iron Chargers. Like once again, I do think you can run the autocannon ones.
Mm-hmm.
They are great into Drukhari. Strength 7, AP 1, flat 2 damage, volume of fire. Excellent at picking up raiders, which you're still going to see plenty of because they're still amazing transport, still the best transport in the game.
Yeah,
and
95 points is still a pretty darn good transport.
How the army functions is being able to get up there, and you can't deal with the infantry quick enough, and they all just unload in your face. So
I mean, you're really like points wise, you're losing about 50 to 60 points, and you're not taking liquefiers on your racks.
Yeah.
So if you just cut 3 rack squads and replace them with 3 warrior squads, your list is the same points now. If you had Drazar, 5 boats, and 3 liquefier squads, and you just replace those with either racks without liquefiers or Cavalette warriors, you're literally still at 2k. It's like, okay. Like, good points changes, necessary, but not bad for the Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
They're still going to be just fine.
So I think we're going to still see plenty of those types of units. Now, if your meta is very like horde based, you play against a lot of 90+ boys. You play against Tyranids often.
Start throwing those shredders on, kidding me?
Exactly. Well, in this case, you would want to run more autocannons. If you happen to run in like a more marine heavy meta, especially ones that have a lot of dreadnoughts involved, and any more tougher units, like if Morty's flying around very often, that's where I prefer the last Iron Strikes. But both of them have play. I think if you are in a meta where the autocannons are better overall, go ahead and take them, no problem. Maybe you still have 1 unit of las cannons just to be safe.
Would you ever mix a unit?
You could mix a unit because then you can pull the casualties, the autocannon ones if you don't need them, or vice versa.
Yeah, if I'm playing against orcs, I'll let
options.
the las cannons die first. If I'm playing against dreadnoughts, I'll pull the autocannons first.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gives you extra flexibility. I still prefer running more of the las cannons overall, just in the meta that we're seeing. But I can see running at least 1 unit of autocannon ones.
Yeah. I also like the las cannons better because Richard is never going to roll more than 4 2s at a time. So you want those to be on las cannons, not autocannons.
4 2s at a time.
And never more than 4 2s.
I've rolled a lot of 2s.
You've rolled 4 several times. It was actually quite impressive.
It was impressive.
I was very happy.
I was like,
I was a very happy boy. It's like, oh yes.
I need to be Mars.
Yeah.
That was so I could reroll one of those.
No, thank you. Yeah, if you have Mars and a Canticle reroll there, it's like, oop, all of a sudden that's 2 extra.
Yeah. I think it works the best. Those Iron Stars work the best in Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not an unfair commentary there.
Look at Goonhammer's newest tournament reporting and look at what they say about the first list. I do not know what that is in reference to.
I'm guessing they put out an article earlier today I have not checked Goonhammer today. But they do have a lot of good content. So.
Tons of good content. And Nick is going to be writing an article for them on the new mission, secondaries.
Ooh, exciting.
So if you want his thoughts, you can also get his thoughts on this YouTube channel. If you go back, John and him did a little breakdown of the secondary changes and what they think is going to be the most impactful.
Yep. So they do have a... let's see.
The Marshal is such...
Oh, they actually have a... The first list is them complaining a lot about Dark Eldar. Yeah. They, Yep. Yeah, they're just a little bit of some snark taking shots at the Dark Eldar meta right now. Fortunate indeed that we will not be having these problems much longer.
Yep.
I think with these changes, I'm very comfortable playing against Dark Eldar as a good army, but not an oppressive army.
Yeah. It's still one of the best armies in the game.
100%. Dark Eldar are great. That's...
As
like
John,
I'm going to take it seriously if I play against them. I do not want that.
as John just said, with how the point change is working out, just switching out the Racklefires.
Yeah, switch them out for Cavalites, and you're literally still at 2,000 points without having to drop a boat or Drazar or anything else.
Number of units.
Or number of units. Like, you're literally
still
just
fine.
Trade out the Racklefires for poison. And I get it. You would have rather have Racklefires, but, you know, that's... You got to enjoy that one for a month or two.
When is Nick running the new bargain avatar?
The Yvrain, the Avatar of Cain.
Avatar of Cain went down like 25, 35 points.
Did he now?
Yeah, chapter approved.
Good for...
Eldar got like 5 changes. Like Wraith constructs went down a couple
That's not
points.
necessary.
Fire Dragons went down a couple points.
Fire Dragons were...
Not Striking Scorpions, which is a huge disappointment. Shame on you, Games Workshop.
Well, they're waiting for the plastic model.
They better get a
They
plastic.
better get a plastic model. Striking Scorpions and the Avatar of Cain are the plastic models I want for Eldar.
When Striking Scorpions are broken, can we just take turns beating Nick with Striking Scorpions because he's disrespecting
If
them so
Striking
much?
Scorpions are the best aspect, I will play Craft Worlds.
Cool.
That's what it will take. Because I have no interest in playing an Eldar list that does not have Striking Scorpions in it. I would also like to have the Avatar of Cain.
Avatar's awesome.
The Avatar's awesome. Like, I make fun of Eldar a lot, but I make fun of, like, hiding in a plane in a boat, fire and fading out of line of sight Eldar. I have full respect for Eldar that go punch people or hit them with a flaming sword. No problem with hitting people with a flaming sword. That is a very respectful way to have combat.
Mimicking the Balrog with a flaming whip or sword is heroic.
That is true. Anything Tolkien-esque, I am willing to respect.
So hopefully soon, but
Hopefully soon.
we have not heard Nick talking about Craft World ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get back on Asherman and Dire Avengers. One of these days.
I mean, there's been no hints that I've seen, at least, of a new Craft World Codex, so hopefully next chapter approved is finally the one that brings Striking Scorpions to glory. Maybe they get a little campaign box set like whatever the heck the Psychic Awakening was, and they get plastic Striking Scorpions, and they're like, you know what? Striking Scorpions need to reroll the wounds and damage too. It's like, you're right, they did, and also 3 points cheaper, and now I'm a Striking Scorpion player. Not Eldar, Striking Scorpion player.
You're absolutely correct that the Avatar should get the Be'lakor treatment. I'd like a total redesign of him.
Oh, yeah.
And like take that Forge World model, make it plastic, and then boom, good.
Done. And also, like, put like a full plastic Keeper of Secrets on the base. Like, this guy costs $280. You pay for the Keeper of Secrets, you pay for the Avatar. Keeper's on the base, Avatar is just like,
one of the new Age of Sigmar keepers.
Oh, like the two
butterfly
floating?
one? Yeah.
You know, honest to goodness, I actually love those models. They're
cool.
silly. But I want a butterfly. I want a butterfly keeper. That thing's crazy cool. I was a little sad that there has been no indication of them getting 40k rules. So...
Have they gotten Sigmar rules yet, or are they just previewed?
They have gotten... They're actually for sale on Saturday.
Oh, okay. So
they have gotten... They're doing a campaign series in Sigmar right now. It's like Broken Realms, I think it's called. Not really sure, if I'm being honest. I don't play Sigmar. But
new edition's coming out, and they're doing...
There's a new edition coming out, and they're doing a campaign supplement right at the end of the current edition. Yeah, well,
it's deja vu.
Yeah, I've seen this one at least 7 times. Yeah, so they're getting rules right now. And I'm excited for it. Although, I think I'm more excited for Lord Croak.
Oh, Lord Croak.
Lord Croak!
Outstanding model.
Fantastic. I want to get a Lord Croak just to paint up. That's probably a distant future kind of project. Could you imagine building, like, putting a katana in the center of his, like, floating...
I could, and making him the Silent King.
Oh, that'd be such a cooler Silent King. Make the burning one.
Yeah.
Oh my
That would be
goodness.
sick.
Yeah, like put a transcendent container inside the floating circles and then have like the 2 Minears. Oh, that'd be so cool. Silent King's a punk.
You love the Silent King.
That's
more
not
than
true.
Anybody.
That's
more than anybody.
So untrue. You know what? You know what happened to me? I played against someone else's Silent King for the first time, and he just failed saves and died. I was like, oh.
That's not possible.
No, it's what happened. He failed 50% of his 4-up invulns and died in 1 turn of shit.
If the Silent King just doesn't table you, like, what's going on?
Come on. He wasn't even killing Dreadnoughts. He was like, 2 shots, roll the 1 to hit, and he's like, I'll just let it go. He's low on
He's
CP.
not just picking up keepers?
No, he doesn't just pick up. I mean, I don't have keepers, so it's very easy to not pick up keepers.
I love the Silent King.
He's a punk. He's a punk in a chair. Fight last. Psh, this is the shooting phase, baby.
Yeah, that was a nerf to the Silent King.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big old nerf. Now, to be fair, I asked a whole bunch of first fight last questions, like when those rules came out, so I'm glad they finally got answered.
They also did give a specific FAQ to the Silent King. Does he benefit from Zerakin? No.
Nope.
It's like, they didn't even say no. They were like, so he's in a Supreme Command attachment, so all units in it will receive the Zerakin buff, blah, 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 blah. However, the Silent King's a dynastic agent, so you actually don't get any of these rules. And it's like, why did you answer this in such a way to give hope?
What they should have just done is attach it to his data sheet. And just be like, Master of the Zerakin Dynasty, boom, this is what he gets, which is just the trait. So that way they don't have to mess with the dynastic agent rule.
I'm kind of amused, though, because for like a solid 3 years, Guilliman was not an Ultramarine, which was just hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
Because the chapter tactic applied to all infantry and dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
And, like, Guilliman's just over here like, I'm a monster. It's like, Guilliman, have you ever read the Codex Astartes? I may have skipped that class. It's like, nope.
I'm not known for that.
So, yeah, Guilliman doesn't follow the Codex Astartes.
Haven't seen Siegs running Necrons much lately. Does 3 Doomsday Arcs, 3 Tesseract archetype lists appeal as much? No, because they are inconsistent.
That's
and
a good
even when
answer,
they
huh?
are consistent, they
not
might
the
not
way you
kill
want.
something. I rolled 18 shots on 3 Tesseract Arcs and didn't kill a Dreadnought. A 9-wound Dreadnought, to be clear. So
What a boss.
it wasn't like John was making crazy saves.
I think I made like 2 out of like 4 or 5.
It was totally normal.
Yeah.
You weren't rolling crazy hot. It was just the wound rolls.
Yeah.
And then when damage went through, it's D6. And it's
Yeah,
just,
I'm pretty sure it was like, it ended up being like 18 shots, like 9 or 10 hits, and it was on 3s, so like it was a little low. But then like, no rerolls. And then it was like 5 or 6 wounds, and I think I failed 3 saves. And then your 3d6 damage with a -1 damage ended up at 8.
Yep.
I think you did 1 last wound. I'm like, oh, this is a CP reroll. I'm like, yep, and I hit it. I was like, oh, cool, I have a Dreadnought now.
Yeah.
And you know Contemptors don't degrade. They shoot.
They shoot.
Healed that baby 3 wounds and kept on firing.
So, I am not a fan of Necron shooting, period.
Oh.
They needed real points decreases.
I mean, 20 points on a Doomsday is in the right direction.
It's just, yeah, they really needed the weapons update, frankly.
You know what? Here's one for you. I think what would help is if the Zerakin Dynasty buffed a reroll hit and a wound. Like Master Artisan's old style.
Old style. I could see that.
I think that would be enough right there.
Yeah. And while we're at it, we can give destroyers, make a relic that pick a unit with a 9 in your command phase that gains core till your next command phase.
The Destroyer unit?
Yeah.
If a Destroyer Lord, if destroyers within 3 inches of a Destroyer Lord gained core.
No, just one unit. Just one unit. We're not getting crazy.
I would actually accept all. Make it an aura.
I would accept all, but let's just start with being, giving them a little something.
A little something. Yeah. I think both the Scorpec Lord... Actually, you know what? If the Scorpec Lord did that, that would simultaneously make the Scorpec Lord exist. Because I've never seen him taken. And also that'd make all the other Destroyer units worth considering.
The Scorpec Lord is best known for being a Lord that can go in the transport.
What?
Because he's an infantry character.
So dumb. Sure, why not, right?
Yeah. I can throw Remoras in there, John.
Yeah, exactly. Remora drones, which are vehicles totally. They're not. And Scorpic
but
Lords.
Nick Skyweaver would still.
No, the Skyweavers are great against drones. It's like, what?
Nick with a straight face thought his Skyweaver list was going to beat the Remora spam, and I was like, well, they're not.
I mean, it's capable of beating it, but the Skyweavers are not.
But no, his Skyweavers were the key part of that. And
Yeah,
I was
oh.
No.
That's not how that one works, Nick.
Count as in cover, 3-up armor, T5, 5 wound drone. No. Rip to the Tome of Malkador.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but like that hurts Blood Angels the most, which is hilarious because why Blood Angels? Why?
They already got some points increases too. So
Yeah, don't worry.
Hit 'em
The
while
Blood
they're
Angel meta is firmly in check. You can sleep easy, citizens. The Blood Angels won't be threatening you anymore. One of my clients is a very
Is that John Moore?
enthusiastic. Actually, I'm sorry. Several of my clients are enthusiastic Blood Angel players, and I think both of them are playing Ultramarines right now, or like considering it. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Don't blame them.
Yep. Like,
Don't
sorry.
blame them. I have not gone back to the Blood Angels because they are bad.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Let's see. John, question regarding your Ultramarines list. Do you prefer the new Gravis Captain instead of the Phobos one? 10 points, better abilities, good range.
Yes, mostly because I really like having the Mastercrafted Power Sword. It's not a huge thing, but it does come up. Where he's just 6 attacks with Shock Assault. That just kind of ends up being useful. And you got Whirlwind of Rage, you got a free reroll.
If he wasn't a Gravis Captain, he would have been gone.
That's true. Also,
He would have been gone.
honestly, T5 and a 7th wound.
Yeah.
And like
He's just
access
a
to the
beef.
Gravis strat for 10 points more. Like the Infiltrator ore is cool, but it hasn't come up much whenever I took my Infiltrator, so I kind of cut them.
Is there glue around here?
I actually put it on the table. I can grab it in a second.
No.
So
It's okay.
Toss my can.
I can wait.
No, I mean literally this is the last piece of gold.
The Servo skull fell off.
Okay, I will just finish up this golden coat and then I'll go grab it for you.
Thank you. Do you have a brown over there? Like a leather type of brown?
I have a Dryad Bark and Gorther Brown, I think.
Whichever one's a base coat. I'll go with that one. I just need it for the leather parts on here.
Yeah, of course.
Which isn't much.
Dryad Bark.
That's perfect.
Yep, that's what I use for all my leather.
The Dryads.
Dryads. It's a great color, honestly. Gorther Brown is actually one of my favorites. I don't know why, because
I like Rhinox hide too.
Yeah, Rhinox hide is not bad.
What are your thoughts on mixing Lucius and Mars? Is it better to stick to just one? I think mixing is best, and I'm trying it out on Thursday in a YouTube stream against Mist.
No, it's not in the war room.
It's not in the war room.
Never mind. I
I know
got
you're excited
it.
about the war room.
I got
You're excited about the
excited.
war room,
That's
and
my fault.
There's a ton of reasons to be excited.
Absolutely,
about
the war room's exciting place.
because we're going to do some ACO stress testing in the war room on Thursday, and that is John Lennon playing a list that we pick.
Yeah.
Nick Nanavati's updated Drukhari,
Well,
if they allow it.
Yeah, that's actually a thing.
we're
Is like
gonna wait and
now
see
we
what the
need to
ruling is.
figure out what they're doing. I feel like they're going to make that decision today or tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Like they cannot wait. Let us wait for like a couple days because
Yeah.
if we're using the new FAQs, people need to know like pronto.
Yep.
I actually expect we'll get a decision end of the day.
Yeah. I expect so too.
I'll admit I have a preference, and that would be using new rules. But I'm not the TOS. We'll see what they end up doing.
Matt with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Matt. Very much appreciated. Hey, John, any wish listing on rules for the Ministorm Heavy Flamer in the new Sisters Codex? Hoping for D6 plus 2 number of shots.
I am hoping they flamer because flamers should ignore cover.
Don't care as much about the number of shots.
I mean, I would like sure if a Ministorm Heavy Flamer is the same as a Cognus Heavy Flamer or Cognus Heavy Flamer, I will not complain. That would actually make me really want to take Heavy Flamers. But I think the ignore cover is actually because I don't want it to be the same as Admech. That's the thing. Like Admech got really cool rules. 2 plus D6 shots on their flamers is amazing. I would love that. If that's what happens, I will not be disappointed. But purely from a game design perspective, I would like their flamers to be different. Way to make them ignore cover because I don't know, they're mixed with holy water, so you can't hide from the flames of the Emperor. Sure, no cover. Plus, it just makes it more useful into like light things that are hiding in cover.
Yeah,
But if it's either ignore cover or 2 plus D6 shots, I will be very pleased and much more likely to put a Ministorum Flamer versus a Flamer, because apparently they're going to be different, into my list.
I think that's a cool change.
Yeah,
I think flamers overall just need some sort of...
I think all flame weapons should ignore cover, except for... And maybe in a month or two, I'll be like willing to give them back, like ignore cover. But like right now, it's like, no, you have sinned and you will sit in the corner
Yes.
until people have forgotten your name,
It'll still be a while.
which will be a while. I will remember this one for a bit.
The sad thing, John, is we won't get those moments anymore where Nick rolls Snake Eyes on the first number of.
It's like, see, it's fine.
See, it
then
just
rolls
totally
12
balanced.
damage the second.
To boxcars and is like, cool, take 10 saves, and it just kills the same thing. It rates it off the face of the earth.
The fact that he's done that, like,
3 times, I think.
it's weird. It's weird that that's happened multiple times.
It has happened.
And every time, it's like, see, I roll the Snake Eyes.
Yep.
Liquefiers aren't that broken. They're inconsistent. And it's like, yeah, it only has a 50% chance of killing God. Like, you do. I'm like, so this is a squad level weapon. This should have a 5% chance of killing God.
Yes.
Not. It's like, stop. Stop right there.
Golden Boy Lennon, with the Telemon points increase, how do you
Oh.
plan to update a Custodes Guard mixed list?
Honestly, we're keeping the Telemons. The Manticores went up 5 points.
They went up 5?
They went up 5.
Guard had a points increase?
5 points, which is so insulting because it's like, this is not enough to even matter as a nerf, right?
Yeah.
But like, why 5? Like, if you thought it was a problem, nerf it, and then give us anything else. It went up 5 points.
Why?
I have no answer. None at all. I don't know. It's like, come on, guys. Like, what? Like, Manticores were not that good. Like, Guard, it was the best thing Guard had.
No, and it's really full payload. It's not a Manticore.
Exactly.
It's making it...
It was specifically the only thing keeping the faction relevant. So for me, I think that see, that's the thing though, is that I actually really like full payload Manticores at AdMech.
Do you?
Yeah.
With cover everywhere?
Look, I'm just trying to kill chickens.
Okay, well, they're not. Well, they're AP2.
Yeah, but you have to ignore AP 1 and 2 on that unit, and you have 2 chicken squads. I'm gonna shoot the other one.
Alright, well, if they're Mars, they're counting as in cover. So,
Okay, so
let's
one-
start there. They have
alright.
2 up. They'll go to 4 up.
But it's for 1 turn, and you don't have indirect for me. So like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait. And
No,
that means that your infantry.
I
are
think they
ignoring AP 1 and
annihilate
2.
you on the board control. I think that was like, just gets wrecked.
Find out together, won't we? I'll take that.
Alright. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I don't think you can deal with the board control. I think the 60 Rangers just win the game.
If they're not ignoring AP 1 and 2, I think I just kill them.
With the Manticores?
No, not with the Manticores.
With
The
what?
Manticores aren't what's killing them. The Manticores make you put ignore AP
No,
1
but
and
it's-
2 on the chickens.
No, I think...
Scions will wreck Skitarii so fast.
So you up the Scion count?
Yeah.
Still, it's transhuman. They're only 1 damage.
I mean, transhuman, I'm strength 3.
Uh,
So
you can't buff them higher than that?
You can 1 CP strength 4.
Yeah.
Like, if you transhuman them, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, I really like having good indirect fire into AdMech because it makes you put the buffs on the last chickens. And then they're not going on the infantry, and then that's cool.
I don't know. I don't think they can deal with the board control quick enough.
Well, maybe not. But, like, Guard are already used to dying to a stiff breeze. AdMech's, like, change in offense output means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Like, joke's on you. I was planning on dying anyways.
It was the same problem with the 20 Warriors that you saw. It's just annoying to deal with, and at the same time, it has to be done so carefully.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be careful. Be so careful you never see it coming.
You gotta be.
Yeah. I think Guard, because Guard can outflank, like, not within 12 inches to shoot you, so they don't get Auspex scanned, and just, like, Plasma is, just don't even need to overcharge, just gonna scoop up a decent number there.
Not still. On the other hand, Drukhari is still a bad matchup for them.
Drukhari is still a terrible matchup for the Manticores. 10-point Raiders and less than fire guns does not change the problem here. And the problem is that turn 2, your Manticores are in combat.
Yes.
And you cannot make them count as stationary. That would be useful, though.
There's no way to do that with Guard?
No, there is not.
Wasn't there something?
There might have been. What was it you needed? You needed glue.
I need glue if
Let
you
me go
could.
get that. No, Guard do not. They do not do that.
Huh. There's no tank order or anything.
No, you make infantry fall back and shoot, which is a very good ability, but Manticores, nah. They're just stuck.
Yeah, being stuck is just not good, and the meta is just so full of speed right now. Alright. Okay. Whole bunch of super chats. As soon as John gets back, I'm going to read them out, but I very much appreciate your support. Now, Fortman, you were one of the top 2 donors from the last month, so please do let us know what you would like as the stream match. So you can pick the factions, the players, you can pick the list if you want, or you can let us have free reign on them. Just let us know what you're thinking, and we will get that on the schedule. The other top donor was Lyle Dixon, and I will talk to Lyle, since he is my coaching client.
I'm very excited to find out what everyone wants to see on the table.
Now, $5 super chat from Christian. Thank you so much, Christian. Really appreciate your support. You guys are great. I have both the Custodes and Imperial Knights armies. Those are great armies to have. Very loyal to the Emperor.
I was so happy Magarus didn't go up in points. I was nervous. I'm like, this does not need to happen.
It's like a 50-point increase. It's like, you should not be purchased more often than our regular plastic knights. Gone with you.
Be gone.
John, what do you think they're going to do for the codexes when they come out with Custodes or Knights? What do you want them to add?
I think knights need to be able to swear an oath before the game, kind of similar to current sacred rites.
Or
that
chaos.
gives them... No, what? Who is that?
That's what they do.
No chaos. That lets you like choose different abilities. I think that knights' points do not need to change, and their offense does not need to change. I think that knights should go up in wounds. I think that every knight should be 28 wounds, not 24. And armigers should be 14, not 12. Just the damage of some weapons has gone up too high. I actually think knights should be 30 wounds, to be honest. But no changes to stats. And I think that they should just be OBSEC. Like, just give them OBSEC right away. If you're in a pure knight army, you're OBSEC and you do something. And then you swear different oaths that give you different buffs. Like, you can swear an oath before the game, like oath of like the Drake Slayer. I don't know, like knightly stuff, like dragon hunting, where like all of your knights reroll 1s to win against vehicles monsters, or like like culling the peasants, whatever. Like the peasants are revolting, and also they're in a rebellion. And it's like reroll 1s to hit against units that have 10 or more models, stuff like that. Like give them specific like oaths that they can swear before the game, similar to Sacred Rites with different buffs, and then defensive buffs. I don't think they need any offensive stat changes at all. And then I really just want OBSEC on knights. I think they can make it reasonable without making them broken. Oh, also, here's another thing. Mm-hmm. For knights, this is a fan theory to be clear. I think knights should specifically be allowed to take as many codex secondaries as they want. It's just like knights don't interact with like so many secondaries right now. I think that everyone has the limit of like you can take one codex secondary. I think knights should be an army that doesn't follow that, and they should have one in each category. Or I think they should have some kind of mechanic to score secondaries different than normal armies.
Like completing vows.
Yeah, like you complete a vow, and like you can make it like they can be hard to achieve. It can be like your warlord has to do stuff, or whatever, because he's the seneschal, or whatever the terminology is. Like, I'm 100% okay with making it hard.
Preceptor.
But, like, right now, it's knights don't interact with... I think there are, like, 2 or 3 different categories that knights don't interact with. Like... Or 2 or 3, like, there's more than 2 or 3 secondaries.
So
like, anything...
Psychic
they don't interact with the psychic secondary.
Actions?
They don't interact with actions.
They can kill stuff.
They can kill stuff. It's, like... The have units in X spots is like, okay, like, I get it, but also, like, if you kill 2 models, I no longer am capable of getting domination or engage in all friends. It's like, oh, okay. So, for me, like, unless you're doing Armiger spam, which Armiger spam is cool, but, like, knights should be about the big knights. And Armigers should be the nobles that accompany it and are a fringe build that's viable, but not the best way to play the army. Like, that's why I use all the big knights. Like, more Armigers is better than 3 knights. Which is unfortunate because I really like my big knights, but like Armigers are better. But I like my big knights because that's what knights are, at least to me. Knights are the big boys.
I think they should get a rule for allying in Admech Skitarii units as like household guard, whatever, that doesn't punish them with a CP cost.
Yeah, Sekitari, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if an Imperial Knight model is your warlord, then you can change the cost of a but yeah, like honestly give them like a Brood Brothers type role.
Yeah.
Where like you can take any Admech detachment and they don't cost any command points. Like you take a patrol. It doesn't have to be a spearhead or an outrider here. So you can take a Skitarii or an Admech patrol without paying the command point cost if you have a Knight Warlord. Because if you have a Knight Warlord, then you by definition will not have any Admech Warlord traits or any Admech relics.
Yep.
And I think that's a harsh enough tax right there that it's okay.
I'd like to see some rule to help them get some more stuff.
Oh, even better. A Mechanicus Knight household can do that, and an Imperialis household can do it for guard.
Yeah.
Done. See, look at that. We should be rules writers.
We just did.
That would be so cool.
Wrote the book.
That would be so flavorful. like, and you still count as a pure knight army for whatever their trait is / their like secondaries or whatever rules they have that require you to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think knights need to interact with secondaries on a different level than other armies because they do. And it's not fair to knights right now, which is fine. You know, knights have advantages, they have disadvantages. They're a very extreme army. But I want them to just have more interactions. Because that's the problem with knights. If you make them too good, it's not interactive. And if you make them too bad, it's not interactive. And one way or another, someone feels bad in every knight game.
Fortman with his $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Fortman.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your continued support of the channel. And
You are a
like
champion.
I said, let us know what you want for that stream game for this coming month.
Mm-hmm.
Graph cannon devs into the Scutari. Maybe Chaplain to give him +1 to hit, +1 to wound. 20 shots. Spam could do the work.
Yeah, that is a thing that can kill Scutari real fast.
Yep, you really have to go overwhelming for the AP3 stuff, which
There are many ways to do.
there are ways to do it. Not always good into other parts of the meta, but if you really need to deal with Scutari, trying to throw
Punch him with the Vanguard vet. That's what I say. There you go. These Vanguard veterans are just gonna go hit him. This
Is that even that effective?
Vanguard veterans?
Yeah.
They're actually really good at Scutari. A 5-man Wolfguard unit will like actually kill 20 Scutari.
The Lucius ones?
Yeah.
It's only 1 damage, right?
Yeah, but it's like AP 3, so it's just like you get a 6-up save anyway. And then just re-rolling all wounds and exploding 6s and stuff, and it'll get there.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it takes a little bit more than 5. But for Wolfguard specifically, in this example, because they get the exploding 6s, and also they're cheaper for no reason.
Yeah, they didn't get the increase, right?
Yeah, Wolfguard veterans are totally not Vanguard veterans. They are definitely not. So why would they have gone up points? I don't know. What a silly thing to say.
For Lambden Lions, 32 shots, mortals on 6s. I mean, there's a lot of buff ways, but remember, they just have 3 of these units. One after another. One after another.
Oh, it's the thing. I mean, the unbuffed ones you can kill really fast. And honestly, Manticores...
Well, that's why you hide them.
Yeah, well, like, honestly, Manticores will just kill, like a decent number. They'll just kill, like, 4 or 5 a turn. Yeah, why not?
4 or 5 a turn, that's fine.
Yeah. 2 Manticores kill 8 to 10 Scutari, and now a 10 to 12 man squad is not that scary. And it's no longer like when it gets buffed, it ends worlds. That's what I want.
I think one of the best tools in AdMech is Night Spinners, Masterful Shots.
Night Spinners are definitely good into those.
They're also good into Raiders.
They're also good into Raiders, and they're good into the Last Chickens as well.
Yeah. And didn't they go down?
They did also get cheaper.
They went down in points.
Yeah, Eldar got some sneaky little buffs in here. I could see Eldar and Dark Eldar Soup being a lot more popular.
I'm glad somebody's looking out for the elves, right?
Yeah.
They weren't looking out for the Tyranids.
Or the Gene
the
Slaughter
Tau.
Bolts or the Tau, but Eldar needed some points
They
cost. Like, you
needed-
cannot let them be bad.
That's what I wanted for the other faction, which is like a couple,
It kind of took the enthusiasm out of it for me.
We've got a £5 super chat from Kevin Weaver. Thank you so much, Kevin. Building a Chaos Knight list. Commentus, Majera, 5 Morax Lightning Locks, 3 Auto Cannon, 2 Warglaives, Leaf Blower goes Burr. Thoughts on this in the meta?
I need to look up what House Commentus does. I'm not even going to lie. I know when they got it. I just don't remember what it does.
Majeras are great. Awesome into the meta.
And War Dogs are also amazing. So that sounds very good, honestly. The right number because they don't get to buy them relics or warlord traits for literally no reason.
Yeah.
It's because they can only buy it for like Rampager and Destructor class, and this is just a Questoris class.
Now remind me on the Lightning Lock profile.
A double Lightning Lock is 36 inch, strength 6, AP 2, damage 1, heavy 12, Tesla.
Yeah, so it has AP though.
Oh yeah, it's AP 2.
Yep. Which overall
Will shred, not ignoring AP Armiger, Skitari.
Yeah.
So one Skitari unit gets to be immune to that, but the rest of them really don't like that.
Yep, not to mention Iron Strider. Strength 6 is still relatively good profile overall.
Yeah,
Into
Raiders.
Raiders.
They can force a lot of
Iron
saves there. And the
Striders.
Megaras are super good to the Iron Striders.
Yep.
But also Iron Striders are good to Megaras, so it kind of goes both ways.
Yep. I like having little cheap war, and
I
they're the thing that stands out on the objectives.
Yeah, I think war dogs are just in general are great value.
Do you have enough stuff there? Maybe, maybe not.
As much as Chaos Knights are getting. So
the other thing is, While We Stand isn't quite so automatic for these types of lists anymore, because if your units split and they kill one part of that splitting unit, you only get 3 points now instead of the 5. So
while that's true, I think switching to grind them down is not a huge nerf because you just don't have a ton of units.
Yeah.
So yes, agreed that does hurt it a little bit, but it's not the same.
But overall, he says Majera gets strength 8 and damage 5. Can also buff damage on lightning locks, taking mortal wounds.
Yeah, I love that.
Mainly to buff the Majera for the warlord traits. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the fully buff Majera is doing work.
Insane.
It's doing work. So.
Strength 8 damage 5 goes into the -1 damage 4 wound conundrums. Where is your God Emperor now?
And the other thing is you're not relying on 3 big knights.
No.
So if your opponent goes first and can do crippling shooting damage, at most you're losing one big knight.
Which is not fun, but it is a different level of not fun to lose.
Exactly. You still have a lot of play because you can use
you've got all
these armigers. And they're fast. That's a great
that is helpful, yeah. They're 12 or 14, I think, depending on if they're Morax or War Dog.
Hey, Wolfguard have real disadvantages versus Vanguard vets. -1 leadership, can't combat squad.
That is true.
-1 leadership, that comes up. John knows from those
Thunderwolves. Space Wolves never make morale checks. They are not capable.
John would just lose the Thunderwolves every time. They're just
It only happened twice, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah. Just don't roll a 6. Great.
It's like, what's that? A 1 as well? Yes, I will. 2 Thunderwolves on an objective, running to morale. It's like,
this is not what I signed up for.
It's like this is not.
This is silly.
The Emperor is not pleased.
How's it going, Lyle? You're going to have to let us know what you want that sub match to be for this month. Both you and Fortman were the top 2 donors of the channel, which we very much appreciate. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you'd like to see. What do you think of the Tyranid points changes? D. McCarran's +20, Gene Stealers -2. How do you feel about those overall, and where would you head with the Gene Stealer heavy list?
I don't know how Gene Stealer heavy I would go, but I would be willing to put in 2 or 3 10-man squads. I actually think I like 2 10-man squads and 1 D. McCarran in a list right now. Unfortunately, to make things fit, I've actually considered cutting the wings off my fly rate, which is it's the difference in hiding is massive. That's all I'm gonna say. I've thought about it, but then I have to paint another Hive Tyrant, and I already have 4.
You don't. You can take my Hive Tyrant.
I mean, I have a new one, Spirit one.
Okay.
But
I have a fully painted Hive Tyrant.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the guns I want.
But he has bone swords.
He's also flailing a little backwards. I have no.
He has bone swords, John.
Yeah. No.
So you think a small 10-man units of Gene Stealers?
10-man units of Gene Stealers, 2 or 3 of them. Because the Swarm Lord is such an auto take, it's actually funny. He's just in. He's in there like swimwear.
And then you would still run 1 D. McCarran?
I think so. They're super valuable distraction card effects. They soak shooting turn 1. They're tough. If you go first and you eat them at someone, they're great. Depending on the kind of walls you have, if you can hide a D. McCarran, it's terrifying. I just don't want to invest as much in them because they went up a little bit in points. Also, it's very meta dependent. Although, honestly, I don't hate having a D. McCarran's AdMechs are scary. AdMech is so scary. Gosh darn it.
Hide your D. McCarrans.
Hide your D. McCarran or else. It's like, where the las cannons going? Boop, 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 boop. I know what's happening here.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Yeah, it's not what anyone wants to see. At least, it's not what I want to see. I have no interest in that, I promise.
How do you feel about Tyranids overall?
Side grade at best. And they were already kind of in not a great spot in the meta, but they still have play, which is nice. They're not just screwed. So it's tough. Honestly, I think Tyranids, they needed some love, and they didn't get love, but they didn't get hurt. So I'm not enthusiastic about it, but it wasn't bad.
Could have been worse.
It definitely could have been worse. We've seen Tyranids have a history of FAQs not being in their favor. So getting some buffs as well as a small nerf is much more acceptable.
They're there to get beat up by Space Marines. Come on.
You have to think about narratively, how do they fight against Space Marines? That's what's most important in the Tyranid Codex, is what is going to happen when they fight Space Marines. You can't have this be too crazy. Ridiculousness. Ridiculous, sir. Okay.
But yeah, overall, I mean, Tyranids still play the mission super well.
They do.
So that they at least have that going for them.
Yeah. Nerf to Drukhari helps them a lot because Drukhari was an army that really was victimized in Tyranids.
What do you think is tougher, the AdMech matchup or the Drukhari matchup?
Right now, I would say AdMech.
AdMech.
I think it's just a question of how many last chickens are they taking.
Yeah. How many last chickens you got?
That matters. That's really a question. It's like if Tyranids can, if they have a small number and Tyranids can like take them out quickly, then all of a sudden it's a very playable game. It's just, is that a realistic option? Not always.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend that that's always on the table.
I like that AdMech doesn't have oppressive indirect anymore. Impressive indirect is just boring.
Yeah, I don't like it for a faction. Like indirect as a mechanic is cool. I'm glad it's there, but and it should be there so people don't build pure hiding lists. But it should never be planned.
I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I hope we never go back to the Imperial Fists.
Oh my god, that was the worst offender easily, and it is not missed.
You just got tabled.
It's like surprise, went first. Pick up those models, all of them. Great.
Which ones? All of them.
Yeah, whichever ones I'm pointing at. It's like, sir, you're pointing at the table. You're darn right I am.
For a question.
Should play Flesh Terrors into Nemesis or Nick.
Into Nemesis or Nick?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Get both of those armies on the table together.
I think Lyle wants to see me on the Necrons.
No. Nemesis or Nick.
Nemesis or Nick doesn't have the best track record.
Nemesis or Nick is coming back, baby. He's coming back with a vengeance. Don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years.
He's always coming back.
It's always a comeback with Nick.
Manipulous.
How's the Manipulous coming along?
He's getting...
Shade is being thrown?
Shade is being thrown on his large base.
I have a question for you. Do you have a purple, like a Xerius purple, by any chance?
No, I don't have purples.
Darn it. Why don't you have purples?
I'm pretty sure you have purples.
I do. It is just so empty that
it's dry to the bone.
It's really close. Like I'm gonna try to make it work like one last time, but if I had a new pot, I was gonna throw this out now. As it is, since I don't, we're gonna see what we can do.
Ask me and Jamie about the Space Wolf leadership. You have no idea how many Oath of Moment points were lost to this. Pour one out.
I'm sorry. I fully believe that. I don't know why. Just -1 leadership makes you fail 17 more times.
Just every time.
Every time. Like my Thunder, I don't think I just passed a morale check with Thundercav.
But that was in the other game on Tuesday. I was just like, 2 CP auto pass on these 2 breachers? Yes. I'm not playing around. It just happened.
And then
one would have lived, and that would have been enough, but it would have...
Yeah.
It could have been bad.
That could have been bad, yeah. See, after all of the effort I spent to not do anything, like it's like, no, let's close this out.
Yep.
So I spent a lot of effort not doing anything there. It's like, man.
Oh, guerrilla
tactics.
Was so cool. Guerrilla tactics changed, John.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
John.
Fully deserved. No complaints.
Yeah.
That leaving and entering reserves on the same turn is not quite as dumb as leaving it the same turn you arrive, but it's darn close.
The other thing is they've been taking that away from most things.
They have. So this is a perfectly reasonable change that I have no complaints about. If that was my last guerrilla tactics same turn play, I'll be a little bit sad, but also I'll be happy because it didn't. Yeah, because it didn't work.
That was wild.
It was a fun trip though. It was a fun trip. I am, however, disappointed that it didn't kill the 5. If I hadn't died to my own Redemptor exploding, then maybe I would have had enough guns to force the issue.
Oh, the explosions.
Oh my god. I think 3 of my vehicles exploded in my army. I was like, oh.
I thought 4.
Yeah.
There's 5 raiders next to each other. You kill a bunch of them. All of a sudden, they start exploding.
Killed a bunch of raiders in close proximity to each other, but I've never had the explosion chains really go in my favor. But I'm just waiting for it to
One of these
happen.
days.
One of these
ACO,
days.
baby.
ACO, let's make this happen.
Dream.
That is the dream. That's the dream right there. It's Frontline Gaming. Let me blow up 5 raiders next to each other at ACO, please.
One turn.
Praying to race over here.
We got a $3 super chat from Clown Mode. Richard, what are your ACO goals with Tau? Goal is to...
And once he gets top 8, his goal is going to change to win the tournament and punishing these Drukhari fools.
Yes, punishing all fools.
Yeah.
Winning the Tau would be a major flex.
That would be a huge flex. I would be no questions asked. I would be impressed.
But I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it multiple times over the past couple weeks with just the archetype overall. It does work into good armies.
There are a lot of things that I'd rather play than Richard Sealer on Tau. That I don't care that Tau are perceived as bad. I'm aware.
Well, the other thing is most people don't have reps against this. Like, people have Drukhari reps, they got Death Guard reps, they got Dark Angel Marine reps.
Boy, oh boy, do I have
not been
Drukhari
playing against the
reps.
Farsight Enclaves very often.
No, that hasn't come
It's
up
easy
often.
to underestimate how much damage the list can put out.
Yeah, it's not something.
And then there's just stuff all over the place all of a sudden.
There is a lot of stuff. Why are they all one man?
Because the characters and the crisis unit can take 1 mans, and then you happen to turn 1 leave a 1 man. So you created a new 1 man.
I don't like it.
I like it.
I did not.
It just makes it so frustrating for people to try and deal with the drones. Which
Richard's like, I like when my army frustrates the opponent and gives them migraines.
I love that.
Yes, I love giving people migraines and shortening their life.
They either overcommit and just blow the drone away, or they undercommit and it lives for no reason.
Well, fortunately, my dreadnoughts
It's the
each
same
have like
principle.
5 different guns. I'm like,
Right.
gun, 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 gun.
It's the same principle as 8th edition Tau.
Yeah.
Like, if they grind them down, there are those turns where you just don't get it, and it really sucks.
Yep. And
Was
there are those
it
turns you
Tyranids that you took grind them down?
Yeah, and I got like a 3 on it.
Yep.
I was like, how is this happening? Although there was also some dice trickery going on in that
There's
one.
trickery.
That's what I'm calling that.
You did kill the 5 breachers with the Hive Tyranid. By gosh, he might not have if he didn't spin the strat.
Look, I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
I knew what I had.
That's the safety play where, like, I'm invested in this happening. It needs to happen, so
Yep.
I'm going to spend my CP. It's like, I need to kill those 2 Redemptors. I don't care how much CP I have to spend. 9, done.
I think you did spend pretty much all of them right there.
Yep, I was like, they need to die, and I'll be in a good spot.
Ha. That's what he thinks.
The Vespid could have been heroes.
No. Never the Vespid.
But yeah, I'm pretty confident in the Talus, honestly. Having played it a lot, and just how much damage it can do, and all the little tricks that it has, it's a very, 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 very strong archetype, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool for Tau.
ACO saying they will not use the FAQ.
Are you kidding me? Have they actually said that anywhere, or is this just rumors and scuttlebutt?
Let's see. Let's find out.
I
That
will-
would be massively
I will be
disappointing.
sorely disappointed. Whoever said that in the chat, if you could point out where they may have said that, we can go ahead and confirm.
I imagine it'd be on the frontline gaming community.
Yeah, that seems where they've been putting a lot of updates recently.
That would be massively disappointing to play a doubly so pointless meta.
Yeah, no,
I'm not really excited about that.
No. Is that a $5 super chat? Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Let's see.
That is Jikan Dong. Thank you so much. I see in the Tau list, Richard cut the airburst, put the missiles in. Is that because you not expect to fight 20 Necron Warriors or 20 AdMech Rangers? Well, definitely not 20 AdMech Rangers because the AdMech book was past their rules cutoff. So won't be seeing that. However, for the 20 Warriors, I feel like I have enough volume of fire elsewhere in the list that it's not as much of a concern. Whereas with mostly airburst just picks up 20 Warriors. The missile pods might not, but still on average they do. And that's before I start whittling down the unit with the little shots.
Whittle.
So I'm so confident of picking up the 20 warrior bricks. So at the end of the day, I prefer doing it from safety though.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Keeping the crisis. It's almost always a while we stand. So I'm trying to keep it alive for as long as possible.
Yeah, the range is really impactful, especially with ruins with a lot of windows. That range is more important than the ignore line of sight, I think.
So where did people see this ACO news?
Nothing in the Frontline community.
I don't see it.
Check Frontline Gaming's website. Maybe they did something.
Yeah,
the signals hasn't been held yet, has it? I don't remember when they do signals. Yeah, truth be told.
Oh, there's 59 comments in this thread.
Well, maybe one of them has the answer.
I think they should just allow people to resubmit lists. Like, it's not a huge deal. We still have plenty of time for the event.
Absolutely, I'm fully in favor of just allowing resubmitted lists and go ahead and hide the current lists. People can change it if they want. Everyone's going to make some changes with this in mind.
You want your event, your big premiere event,
to be talked about,
and this is how it is a joke. Honestly,
yeah, it'll be the same for everyone who goes, but for everyone who's not there, ACO no longer matters. Is the problem?
Yeah,
and it's no longer a talking point.
Cool, you won it with some
Drukhari. Yeah, like what? Yeah, Drukhari win it with like a bunch of raiders and a 2,070 point list. With like Rack-with-Fires out the butts, like okay.
Nobody is.
Which, let's be honest here, I don't think anyone is going to be surprised if Racks win this event, theoretically. Or a list featuring Racks with Dark Technomancer buffs. Any indication yet on where?
They're streaming right now. This is what it's being said.
Oh, okay. So they're streaming right now, and they're indicating that they will not be using it.
That's such a disappointment. Well, beat people up with Tau is the plan.
Yeah. Well,
now it's going to feel doubly worse when you lose with Drukhari and they're going to get nerfs. You really need to step your game up, my friend.
Harsh but true. Harsh but fair.
Cool.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Boo.
Let us know if anything else comes up, everybody.
Yeah, please do.
So yeah, overall, I think the missile pod unit is just, it's more consistent, it's better into more armies, and it allows me to play the range game much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all important.
Yep. And based on how the terrain is going, with a lot of obscuring ruins, I think it's
much better there.
Yeah, exactly. When you touch the terrain now, you just see, so the air burst isn't as necessary.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm also not expecting there to be tons of hordes.
Yeah, Horde is not super popular meta-wise right now.
Like with Tau against Drukhari, you really need to pop the Raiders as early as you can.
Everyone needs to pop the Raiders as soon as they can.
Yep, so you pop them in their deployment zone with missile pods, it's a long trek to get over to my side.
That's what you want.
And that is important. Alright. All of these Rangers.
How are those characters coming?
They are being shaded, and I'm going to throw a couple extra colors on there, but they should be good for tomorrow's stream game.
Wonderful. That's what I like to hear.
Still have to proxy one Marshal.
One Marshal.
That's okay.
That's all right. I think Daedalosus is a...
He's a perfectly fine Marshal-looking guy.
That's exactly what he's going to do, yep.
Deathwatch, do you like Infiltrators, Reavers for their flexibility, or blending the Terminators into Proteus teams? Struggle with midboard shooting other than Volkites and Inceptors. Dreadnoughts.
Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
Redemptor
Dreadnoughts answer that question.
Yep.
I personally don't take any Terminators in my Proteus kill teams. I like Bikes and Vanguard Veterans to make a fast-moving unit because you need the combat squad to not have any infantry, so all 5 infantry kind of have to go into one combat squad, and then you don't have any space to add a Terminator without forcing a 6 or 5 inch mover into your bike squad. So if you could do a Proteus kill team that's not built around bikes, but I really like the bikes. I really like the bikers with a Van Vet to count as infantry. That at least for me has had a lot of appeal.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I'm sticking to right now.
I think that's pretty reasonable. And if you want to see Deathwatch, you get to see them in the YouTube game tomorrow. Jack Harpster is busting out his ACO Deathwatch list.
Which apparently will not be changed.
I guess not, yeah.
Yes, not.
Into my AdMech list, which combines Mars and Lucius.
Super excited.
So we'll see how
really
that
excited
goes.
to see how the new AdMech does into these Space Marines. I don't think we've done, on stream at least, I don't think we've done a Space Marines into a new AdMech.
Not yet. We've done it in a practice game.
We have, but I was not a part of it there, so we'll have to see if how this one holds up for Jack tomorrow.
Guys, the FAQ today has put a sledgehammer to my AdMech list theory. What can we expect to get destroyed when the FAQ comes through? Vanguard strat, Taxi strat, Iron Strider points. I doubt any.
Also is telling me, frankly, is that GW is probably going to let AdMech ride for at least a month or two.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get heavy nerfs immediately. So I think right now you play the Codex as it is.
Yep.
Now, if you don't own 10 tracks and you don't want to go buy them, I understand. But because that does feel like the main offender. But also, you're going to get a couple months out of them, to be honest.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not more broken than Liquefier racks were.
No.
So.
Well, it's pretty annoying.
It's annoying, but they don't do outrageous damage at the same time.
Yeah, it feels bad. I really don't like Traxi at the current rules interaction.
It's because it's non-interactive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think that's worse than being good. Because like racks were too good, but like there was a clear do something about it, which is pop the boat, kill the racks. And what you do about tracks is like take infiltrators, but not.
I think the big
Lucius.
question is what they change the strat to be.
I imagine it'll just guerrilla tactics. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah, I don't think that's exciting enough to take Taxi.
that's entirely possible.
Yeah, I think they need to spice it up as something. Maybe they do it with the same thing they did with Sisters, where they get to come down and shoot. Open up a space. That would be much more interesting.
Maybe, but that's also like a complete redesign at that point. It's not just a.
I don't think there's an easy fix for this.
I think
this is the thing that makes
is that you cannot use this stratagem on the same turn that you arrive on the table.
I'm just saying to see Taxi on the table, they need a good strat, and that's not going to do it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but I would rather not see Traxi than have Traxi in the list and still not see them.
I still think the whole point of it was they're not dumb. They intentionally this. I think they want to see Traxi on the table, so they're going to have to replace it with
You literally don't even see them on the table is the thing. You can't see them.
Yeah, you saw them on the table in the Worm game.
That's because you chose not to put them in reserve. Literally, my opponent allowed me to see them. Like, oh, thanks for just making a choice.
What's the math of missile pods versus raiders? How many suits do you want to put into each raider? You want to put at least 8 shots. So 2 guys each. However, you'd shoot the Riptide first, then you'd shoot the Remoras. Potentially, if they're all clumped up, do the Remora strat for mortals, and then you'd have a better idea how to split. Mm-hmm. And then the Riptide may pick up one, you may have to finish it off with the Remora burst cannons. But between that, you probably pick up one and wound another one. And then I think you try and go for... You don't split to try and kill 4 more raiders. I think you try and split to kill 3 more.
Yeah, so you try to overkill each of them. And then you've got a missile commander to finish off.
And then you have the missile commander with reroll wound. Like, you have so I think killing 4 raiders is perfectly fine. If you kill the 5th one, awesome.
Yeah, 5 seems to be the most common number for pure Drukhari right now. I actually still like 6, but the changes people are making to fit other things in that 6th raider has been one of the more common things to cut.
Yeah, but once that's out, you're not worrying about being in line of sight of them.
Yeah, exactly.
People are sleeping on Pink Horrors and Cult of Magic list still, honestly. Has a great Drukhari Quinn matchup, decent Marine matchup. What else do you even care about at the moment?
Do Pink Horrors have a good Marine matchup with Cult of Magic? I don't know if they do.
Don't know if they do. The more modern Marine lists that you're seeing are just boatloads of buckets of firepower.
Yeah,
Pink Horrors don't like that.
No. And, I don't know how many Pink Horrors my list kills in a turn, but it sure ain't 0.
I mean, I also played against Jack's Mortal spam list, and it puts out Mortals, but...
Mortal wound output is so inconsistent.
It's inconsistent, and it's hitting what I want it to hit, and eventually I just kill all your screens, and the characters don't do enough. And also, in those lists, you're trying to take a Psychic Secondary, usually. So
Psychic Secondaries did get better. Warp Ritual is actually a significant change.
You want to just explain it for the chat?
Yeah, so not only is it now not a 0 to 15, it's now a 4, 8, 12 scaling. It also does not have to be cast by the same Psyker.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have one guy do it turn 1, different guy do it turn 2, different guy do it turn 3. So if you have started doing it on someone and you suddenly need their spell, it's not just like what do I do?
Yeah.
No, it's just, all right, next guy up.
Spell Familiar.
Yeah, spell familiar.
But you're still giving up a guy's casting. And so
You
if you're going
are.
for max mortals, you're not getting max mortals.
Yeah, you're giving
Not
up
in
at least one right
practice.
there. But usually there's like a herald character who's kind of soaking that job.
That's Araman.
Araman. Oh my god, poor Araman.
Well, Jack had to cast one because he didn't take the silly Poxbringer. With the updates, what kind of list would you take as a Dark Angel to Orlando GW event?
I
And/or
think
Crucible.
Storm Speeders. Who's asking this question?
This is Justin Reber.
Justin Reaver. I'm thinking Storm Speeders are what I'm looking at for my next direction for Dark Angels.
Storm Speeders.
The Storm Speeder, not the Land Speeder Storm, the Storm Speeder. I understand that can be confusing.
Well,
I caught Siegler with that one.
You got to throw storms in there.
It's like, don't we already have like 3 Storm Speeders? I'm like, no. We don't have Storm Speeders. We have Speeder Storms. Totally different unit. Thanks, GW. I want to try them out, really. I don't know if they're what I want in Dark Angels, but I know that other things got nerfed, so I'm very willing to explore right now. Whew, boy, so many Deathwatch.
Love the fact with the new fight order being clear, you can give 3 separate squads fight, tampering with archived engagements, Tempercopia, and Electroshock. Yep, in the AdMech Codex, there's multiple ways
To do
to mess
fight
around with.
trickery.
Yep,
That's
fight
cool.
last trickery.
That's kind of cool.
So that definitely makes those things more valuable, for sure.
Oh, 100%. It's a super good rule.
I still haven't played around with Melee AdMech, but I know John is excited about trying Ryza.
I would like to. I don't think Rise is the best. I'm not going to lie to everyone here. However, I think it's really cool, and I like punching people. And you know what? That matters to me.
Been recently diving into Infinity, and one of the things I've discovered and really enjoyed is that players in Infinity pre-plan which mission they are playing, then build their lists around that.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll admit I'm not whatsoever familiar with the rules of Infinity, so I couldn't comment on the game as a whole.
Is that terrain where you like build a city?
I don't. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Infinity. I have friends who play it. I've never really tried to
I have never
get
played
anything
it.
from it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just building specific maps and stuff, even like an esports game like StarCraft, that would be very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely not opposed to that.
What do you think if 40k tournaments had pre-planned missions before people submitted their lists?
I mean, a lot of 40k tournaments do release what missions are going to be played before lists are submitted, and some do it after. It seems to very much be an event-by-event situation.
Yeah.
And I do keep an eye on that, though. Like, if someone has announced what missions, I go ahead and check out which ones it's going to be before I actually submit my list to make sure I know what I'm doing. Because if, like, there's a lot... Like, if there's no missions that are, like, a 5-objective hold the center with, like, priority target and, like, direct assault, then I kind of know, like, all right, I need to put a little more thought into my secondary plan here. Or I need an army that's better at spreading out. You know, like, I wouldn't take Death Guard if I knew that both priority targets and direct assault were not in the rotation, for example.
Yeah.
Not to, I don't think I've ever seen that, but if I saw that, I would definitely reconsider a Death Guard army I was planning to take, and I would be like, yeah, maybe this is a Dark Eldar kind of tournament if it's all spread out.
But it's the same thing as like the mission order too. So like you're playing a 9-round event, they just play every mission. Happens that the Scouring is mission 6 to see if you get top 8.
Then suddenly I need to really look at what army
Better be good on the
wants to
Scouring.
go into the center and still like be alive. Now I need to think about that. Yeah, interesting choices there.
That is indeed the new Primaris speeder, the Storm speeder.
Yes, the new Primaris speeder I think in Dark Angels is actually quite good because they all got 20-point discounts in the other recent book. I actually think all 3 of the variants are solid. As a matter of fact, I don't think that it's one ahead of the other, honestly. I think they're all 3 actually pretty good.
Which one has Brother Tinnitus?
I want to say that's the Hammer Strike. So I will definitely take a Hammer Strike. First one I get will be a Hammer Strike. Actually, honestly, they're going to be magnetized as best as I can, at least. But after that, we'll see. But at least one will be Brother Tinnitus.
He will make an appearance.
He will. Why would he not? I mean, Brother Tinnitus over here is a hero of the chapter.
I like plasma speeders in Ravenwing.
I'm actually not a huge fan of the Land Speeder Vengeance, personally. However, Thomas Ogden has done quite well with one. And we actually recorded an Art of War episode with him where he talked in great detail about how effective it is for him and how he uses it. So if you are interested in Land Speed of Vengeance, that would be a good episode to listen to.
Yeah, part 1 of that episode is on this very channel. So if you hit back into the videos, you should be able to find it.
Yep.
The Art of War podcast. Reese confirmed they are not using the FAQ. That's awesome.
Oh, man.
What a shame.
What kind of a community response would we need to change his mind? Just asking for a friend. That's
just
incredibly...
Like, I don't want to... Like, what a waste.
Yeah, well, I'll have to think on that one. It's not bueno.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to hear, that's for sure.
It's a major shame. It's just, it could have been a super exciting, like, the first event with the new...
Oh, yeah, that's immediately everyone starts looking at the results here. Now it's like, we're getting ignored.
Yeah.
it's like, ugh. It's quite the combo there.
Love your work, guys. If you had to combo Nids and GSC, what high fleet cult creeds would you lean into given the current meta?
Current meta, I would say Bladed Cog and High Fleet Kraken. High Fleet Kraken is where Tyranids start and finish for me. You can have an ally at that point, but you always take Kraken, in my opinion. Just cannot get away from that speed. So, yeah, High Fleet Kraken would be my answer to that. And I think Bladed Cog is in as good of a spot for Gene Circle as possible right now. They have some very specific anti-atomic buffs, which don't hurt. And then they were like already probably the best one because they can ignore the heavy penalty and just get an invul on their troops. And they have a really good warlord trait as well for dealing with like any demon and primarchs or big grizzly units that pop your way because they basically have old grudges as a warlord trait. So I would definitely say that is my choice.
Any advice of dealing in vehicles as Necrons? So Necron anti-tank is decidedly mediocre because it's inconsistent. So the best thing that you can do if you're running a Silent King build, Necron warriors you can buff up to actually be quite strong into vehicles. If you don't want to go that direction, then you can instead just obsec them, play the mission better than them, which is honestly what Necrons do the best. They have one of the best custom traits in the game, which is obsec. Mm-hmm. They can get it on whatever they want. That allows you to play the mission better against some vehicle-heavy armies. You can also tie them up in combat with things like Ghost Arcs that can be very annoying to deal with, period. Especially if that army can't fall back and shoot very well. Mm-hmm. So there are ways to do it, like trapping vehicles still works.
That's an old-fashioned way.
Yep.
Especially if they have blast weapons, it's much more effective.
Exactly. So you have to get more creative with Necrons, honestly. Consistently just picking up vehicles isn't what they do the best.
No, I mean the Minears are solid at it, but then the Silent King build is really
It's really about tying things up in combat. Thoughts on Eliminators and Deathwatch now?
I think they have a ton of potential. I think they have a ton of potential. That's something I kind of want to explore in the future. I would say that having like 3 or 4 Las Eliminators with a Spectre skill team is actually super tempting because that went down 40 points. And that is enough to make me consider it. So I think taking one Spectre skill team with a Helix Adept on an Infiltrator, and then you toss that guy in with that Eliminator unit, I think that is a very tempting proposition.
I do get the concern of people showing up with suddenly illegal lists and stuff. Honestly, there's still so much time before the event. Just do it right now. This it's due, on Sunday night.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, or Sunday night.
Yeah,
and then you can check them. You can be lenient on the yellow cards.
I mean, honestly, no one is going through ACO list and checking them for legality anyway.
Yeah.
So like, whether or not no one checks it a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not going through and checking the list. I would be impressed if the TO has enough free time ahead of running an event to go through and single-handedly check each list. I think they're just kind of hoping that the community check gets it. Yeah. But like every time there's something that gets missed.
No, it's really more about just like the relevance of the event. Like now this is not only is no new AdMech, which is already a ding against it, but not using any of the latest rules.
Yeah, it's a whole FAQ, a whole mission pack, and a whole codex not being used, and the Sisters Codex is coming out the day of the event. Which I understand why the Sisters Codex is not being included, of course. That's not reasonable.
Yeah.
But that's now
There's too many
4
things.
separate publications that will not be used for this event.
Yeah. This has no bearing on the rest of the competitive
No,
season.
there's literally nothing. Yeah, this is a one-off event now.
As a Craft World Elder player, is there anything to get excited about with the new points changes? Avatar 200 points, the minus 10 for Night Spinners. Night Spinners are great, 100%. I would be running them, especially in this meta. The Avatar, he's still pretty pricey for what you get. And he works better in a more infantry-heavy list. And honestly, the Craft World list that you're seeing are still primarily based around shooting.
That's true.
With some mission-playing elements like Warp Spiders. So, probably still not going to see him. But if you were dead set on running the Avatar, he's just better now.
I still want to live the double Avatar dream, Incarn and Avatar.
Incarn and Avatar.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta live the dream, live the meme.
Live the meme.
Sean Naden should take the Avatar of Kane and the Incarn. And the worst part is he would actually still have a decent chance to win the event with that.
Yeah.
Because Sean Naden's a great player. That would be hilarious though. I just double Avatar. People would be like, "What? What are you doing? What is your list? What is happening right now?" I gotta ask Sean that. What is the best list Sean can write that has both Avatars in it, and how well could he do at an event?
That's a lot of points in this.
It's a lot of points. I know it's not the most favorable startup to a list, but if anyone was gonna do it, you know who the guy is.
Yeah, I think you've seen things like the Forge World Links being particularly popular with Craft World players.
Yeah, the Lynx was popular for a while. Right now, Night Spinners and Dark Reapers both went down in points, and that's okay. Those were units that were already probably being considered or taken, and now it's this is just happening.
They looked at Sean's list and going down.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a nice boost. That's always nice when you're playing the units that actually get points decreases. Seriously looking into Nefric Dynasty. Deep Strike seems pretty nifty on stuff like Lich Guard, auto-advancing with the Ignore terrain, and less need to support Scarabs with the Chronomancers, because they have the 6 of Inbone. Yeah, it's worth trying new things with Necrons, because they're kind of stuck in the same space.
They are, yeah.
So I think it's absolutely worth experimenting with. And obviously, like we said, the meta is changing a lot recently, so
very much so.
The overall meta is going to change, which means the lists you need to build to beat are going to also be changing.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys think Majors should do about new rules changes? What should be cutoffs for new books and new FAQs and points changes?
I think new codexes should be... Alright, so my take is that I actually because there are more events now, I think that these 1 month rules cutoffs are dinosaurs, quite frankly, of the times when big events were held separately. They were held far away from each other. There was 2 months between any majors at a certain point. And then codexes came out every 3 months. And right now, you saw it in the last 2 weeks, right? We have had a major FAQ, a new codex, an announcement of a new codex, and a new mission pack on pre-order. Actually, that's literally all in the course of the last week.
Yeah.
It's okay, I don't think we can have 5-week cutoffs anymore.
No.
So, for me, it's make the rules cut off 8 days before. I think that anything released 1 week before the event should not be allowed for a major, but for an RTT or a GT, honestly, put it in. And then you have the lists due 1 week before. Lists for ACO, in my opinion, should be due on Saturday, June 5th. Any rules released before June 4th, which is a Friday, should be allowed at the event.
Yep.
That's me. I think 1 week is too close of a cutoff, really, for new stuff. But 2 weeks before, yeah, because practically, if it's released 2 weeks before, videos are on YouTube about 3 weeks
exactly.
before.
It's the physical release date is less important than the previews.
Than when the community has access to it. Because I understand though that you need the people to have physical access to it before you can allow an event. That's why yes, we're gonna have Sisters Rules Saturday morning because I'm gonna go find a YouTube channel and pause it a bunch while I zoom in on all the rules because we don't have a preview copy. But that doesn't mean that it should be illegal on Saturday. But it shouldn't be legal it should be legal pretty close after. Yeah, just a little frustrating.
And this is if you're running your event as a competitive tournament. If you're running it as like a hobby experience and stuff,
yeah, of course. There's the context matters for everything.
But if you're branding yourself as a competitive tournament, you got to run the competitive rules.
Yeah,
there can't be any doubts about that.
Literally 4 different published, for sale, available for download online publications are going to be missing from ACO, and that's
too many.
That's too many. 4. It's I get it. Sisters don't make it, but come on. Oh well. Let's see what else we got here.
What do you think of Bolter Inceptors in Deathwatch?
You know what? Actually pretty good. Bolter Inceptors in general I kind of want to re-explore. With Deathwatch it's actually a little bit harder because I just don't want to take the heavy intercessors to unlock that choice. Truth be told, I don't actually think that the Gravis kill team's good. I think it's actually the 3rd best kill team, to be honest. Which is fine, but there are 4 kill teams and that's the 3rd one. It's I would rather have the Proteus and the Spectrus than investing in whatever they have decided to call the Gravis one. Yeah. I genuinely don't remember.
We got a $5 super chat from Kyle Norman. Thank you so much, Kyle, for your continued support of the channel. John, what is your opinion on the change to the Exocrine strat that now lets them fall back and shoot?
That's awesome. I've played it that way at some tournaments, always by asking the judge on how they were ruling that. And when it's come up, it's been massively powerful. So I didn't do much on the stream because it was I question the community, so I usually err on the side of not me. But for events, I'll just ask the TO, and if they rule it, they rule it. So at the Salt Classic GT that I won, they ruled that I could stationary an Exocrine and have it shoot when it fell back. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So my Exocrine got tagged once. I was like, beep, and we're back in action, boys.
Mm-hmm. Gotta wrap the Exocrine.
He did not wrap the Exocrine. He tapped the Exocrine. You must wrap it. Do not just tap it. No, it was it's a great change for the Exocrine. So the Exocrine's staying on the list. He's back in business, boys. I was thinking about cutting the Exocrine, but nope, he's back.
He's always back.
The Exocrine just always does so much. He's a hero.
Except into Remorse.
Well, he did fine. He did his end of the bargain. You failed to hold up your end. I'm like, hi Richard, can you please fail 66% of these 5-up saves? You were like, what if I fail 1?
What if I just leave a bunch on 1 wound, and even then it's still impossible?
The double tap into the 1 wound guy is he still lives. I'm like, fine.
The double tap. Favorite new mission secondary and why?
New mission secondary?
Yeah. Or secondary from the match play. I don't just... Yeah.
Stranglehold.
Updated domination.
I like that it's totally not domination. What are you talking about? Domination doesn't exist. It was removed. But Stranglehold, that's a good one right there. Stranglehold's dope. I like Stranglehold.
I like the updated Scramblers. Retrieve Octarius data.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very easy to get 8.
It was already the one that you would kind of be thinking about taking in a lot of lists.
Yeah, it was that last choice very frequently. It's do I, don't I?
And now it's much more appealing because you could get some points out of it quite easily.
Yeah.
Instead of potentially looking at a 0 here.
Exactly. You're getting something on Octarius.
So I think that one will be very popular.
I agree on that. That should be. And that's good. That's what I'd like to see.
I still think Investigate Sites and Teleport Homers are not what you're going to see too often.
No, Investigate Sites got better, though. Or Investigate Signal, I think it got renamed.
Signals,
but
yeah.
Whatever it is called now, I think it'll be seen with a couple certain lists. Honestly, the Deathwing Terminator Ball actually is pretty good at it. It's who wants to go within 6 to center? You? Alright, bonk. You gotta get the bonks in, Richard.
Bonking.
Bonk time. Okay. I think it's, what time is it? 44? We can do some red here. Let's get some red out.
Going to the re-explore the Tyranids now. The Gene Stealers and Swarmlord are a bit cheaper.
It is tempting. I don't think that I am going to change my Tyranid list much. I think I'm just maybe drop one Demakaran, maybe add 2 10-man Tyranids at most. 2-man Genius Throwers, I should say, but I'm not even convinced I will do that. But it's on the table. So hopefully there are reasons to be excited for ye old Tyranids.
How does the new Thin the Ranks affect list design for you?
Not much, honestly. I
think it's worse.
I think it is a little bit worse because the vehicles get away from it, but it also makes me... Because I never was the person spamming those multi-wound, like, Beast of Nurgle
Scarabs.
types. Yeah, it does hurt Scarabs. I was never really running those kinds of lists, so this isn't a huge change for me.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little harder to pick sometimes, so it's in those games I won't pick it. But then they made Octarius Data a little easier and, like, Warp Ritual a little easier, so it's like, okay, this will end up being fine, I think.
Yeah. I think you're not going to see it too often, and like even elite armies like Custodes, they're more dreadnought heavy now.
Yeah.
So they're not running just mass infantry that could be susceptible to this.
No.
But even still, they don't give up that many points.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not giving it up enough that I'm like really sad about.
Yeah, like Marines don't really care much.
No,
so.
I don't have enough troops for that to be the thing.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be that massive of a change.
I think I would agree.
Necrons is probably actually gets hit the hardest, frankly, between the Scarabs and the Warriors.
Destroyers, especially coming back.
Yeah,
dying again.
Exactly.
Like, surprise, you're back. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old Scarab?
Teach it a couple more times so I can get some points out of it.
Yeah, I'll just keep teaching you this one. Like, let me kill all but one, and let me kill all but one again, and one more time.
Not sure if this has been asked already, but do you feel a Plasma Scepter's points increase was appropriate?
I actually think it was not. I think that when this book probably was sent to the printer, that was a very reasonable thing, but Plasma Scepters dropped off due to the changes in the meta a lot. So I think that it very quickly became like, this actually wasn't necessary. But it's okay. I don't think it's the worst thing either. Like, Plasma Scepters were very good for a while, so a 5-point upgrade. At least they didn't do 10. 5, I think, was a reasonable amount.
10 after the January update.
Exactly, it's 5. Which is weird, because they did 5 in January, and then, I don't know when this book was printed, but then they did 5 more. So, like, it must have been decided after January?
Yeah.
Then it's like, how long did it take them to decide that that wasn't enough of a change? I don't know. Interesting thought process.
What would you use to replace the role of Scarabs with the new No Prisoners secondary? I would still run Scarabs. When I had ran my Silent King list, I liked like 4 and 5 man units. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't go crazy. I wasn't running 27 Scarabs.
Yeah,
that probably is less useful now because then the ranks becomes the obvious choice if you're running like
it's
60 warriors.
Each Scarab block, if you kill it without any regen, is 36, so 3.5 points.
Yep.
So just wiping out the Scarabs is 10 points right there. And if any regenerate, it becomes even more.
Yeah.
That's really harsh.
That's too many. So the 9-man Scarab breaks are probably not going to be seen too often now.
Maybe like 4 or 5 man.
I like the 5-mans right below Blast. Still very durable. Could soak up the mortals.
Yeah, sure. It's
against Smite Spam armies. So
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. I just don't think you'll go for the 27 anymore, which is fine. More points for just bringing extra units in. You get your small Crypto Thrall units and mission playing stuff.
I do love those Crypto Thralls, the eyeball lasers.
Matt O with $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Matt O. Any thoughts about dropping 1 to 2 Venoms into a list now? Easier to hide behind hills and smaller buildings. If you can't
Venoms staying the same when Raiders went up is definitely a point in favor of the Venom. So yeah, I would consider it now. 20 points less is enough to be... You're allowed to be worse for 20 points less. 10 points less, it's like, I'll just pay the 10 points.
And they're faster. They can.
Yeah, they're an extra 2 inches. Like, yeah, it's really...
Easy to hide is important.
Easy to hide is important. -1 to hit doesn't suck. Like, you're not just always worse.
Yeah, and if you want to throw a transport on an objective, you don't have to throw
I think having 1 or 2 Venoms in a list is perfectly legitimate now. Whereas before, it's like, why are you not taking the Raider?
What do you think of the new Sisters models? My wallet is crying.
Oh my goodness. You know I love those new Sisters models.
They're incredible.
They're so beautiful. Like, oh my goodness. GW really outdid themselves with that one, if I'm being honest. Beautiful, beautiful models.
I can't wait to see them on the table.
I know.
Especially the Supreme Commander.
Supreme Commander, Morven Dahl. I don't know her name yet.
Yeah.
We're going to get there. I will learn her name when I have a data sheet to read.
Also, fair to assume that the Paragon Warsuits are not immune to 1 damage weapons?
I think that's a perfectly reasonable assumption, and I will, until I see an FAQ from GW specifically telling me that they ignore damage 1 weapons, I will play them as minimum 1.
Yeah.
And but also, I'm going to go the other way too. I'm going to play them as 80 points a model. Which is just not what they are. They're 240 points a model, and I'm going to assume that they're 80.
They're almost as pricey as the Supreme Commander.
They are. And you know what? Maybe each of these is a chapter master.
Yeah.
And at that point, I will play them as 240 points per model. But assuming that it's just a war suit with a multi-mouth and a sword, or like a heavy bolter and a sword, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to call that 240 for the squad.
240.
240 for the squad feels like about what they thought. But I've been wrong before.
The typos always get me.
Yeah, it's like it happens though. It's like, human error doesn't bother me as much as like, what is this booster strat? Like, what? Stop. What is this? That's what gets me.
I want 3 of everything for the new sisters. Take my money. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, no kidding. Is.
Hopefully the stock on the new sisters is quite high.
Hopefully, because they are spicy, and I'm going to be spending some money.
Can you explain the fight first and strike last FAQ?
Yeah, so, charging is basically the same thing as always fighting first now. What that means is that if you charge someone and they put a fight last on you, you now cancel out both, and you're just a unit that isn't fighting like they charge. Now, you'll still get shock assault. Like, you still did perform a charge, but you lose the always fight first. So now you're just a unit in combat, your opponent's unit in combat, you alternate activations there, starting with the player whose turn it is not. So, if the only charge you declare is 5 Assault Marines into an Incubi squad, and they roll well on the leadership, and you fight last. Fight firsts go, okay, well, you do all your chargers. Then you start alternating activations, starting with the player whose turn it is not. The Dark Eldar player will just pick the Incubi, and then they will pick up the Assault Marines, probably, and that's bad. But if you always fight first, now, because there isn't a default of charging, if you always fight first, and, so let's say you cast Veil of Time on these Assault Marines, and they now fight first, and then you charge them in, the exact same thing happens. Not a single change. The change is that if you charge in with just a non-fighting first unit, it is now worse. Because before, you would just fight last even though you charge. So the Incubi could be selected at their will. Now, though, you could theoretically interrupt with them, or you could choose them as your first activation. Whereas before, like, your opponent could fight with everything besides the Incubi, and it'd be like, hey, the Assault Marines are fighting last. We'll get to it when I get to it. Yeah. Now it's like you actually have to keep in mind the alternating timing. So more interactions, less you're just bonked down to you fight last. You can wait until I'm literally done. Yeah, and I think it's a perfectly fine change. It decreases the power of fight first, but fight last, but it also decreases the power of fight first. Mm-hmm. So both of those rules are a little less impactful, I think. But they're still good. They're still good things that I genuinely want to take in a list.
Marines get the baby carrier. Sisters get an actual nifty looking warsuit.
I love the warsuit model. These things are dope.
Hopefully they upgrade the Grey Knight once eventually.
No. Primaris Dread Knight. No, brother.
It's funny because you see such cool conversions in the community. Where it's like
it's
more like a giant mobile dreadnought.
I've seen a couple good ones, yeah. It looks like a mini knight at that point.
Yeah, it's like a big Terminator.
Yeah. I've seen like some 3D prints of that are pretty cool.
Lots of information missing, but I'm crazy to prefer the Strength 6 AP3 Damage 1 Halberd over the Strength 5 Damage 2 Mace as an all-comers choice.
I need to go relook at the points, quite frankly, because I'm aware that the sisters' points are out, but I haven't really gone deep into them because we don't have the rules. However, I was inclined to like the damage 2 options, but if points are different, how much they're different by, all of that's going to definitely play an impact into my choice there. They're both pretty strong melee weapons, though, so I'm not mad in either instance.
Yeah.
And also, like, do sisters still have access to +1 to wound?
Yeah, so what are they going to lose?
Yeah, like if I lose the Bloody Rose strat of +1 to wound, suddenly a higher strength weapon does appeal to me more. Because right now it's like, I'll just be strength 5 and I'll just pop +1 to wound if I need to hit someone hard. That's kind of my logic right now. But if they take that away, it's like, alright, maybe I do need to be strength 6/7, because that actually changes the math a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't the maces D3 damage? Possibly?
No, they do. They were previewed as 2. Now it's possible GW just did something different. Yeah. But the preview that they posted on their community site recently was flat damage 2. The warsuit mace is flat damage 3. The handheld mace is flat damage 2.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Yeah,
the big mace should be.
The big mace should be bigger. I'm pretty okay with that decision.
Death Guard no longer affected by terrain makes me happy.
Oh, that's true. They just removed the forest thing.
Yeah, which made no sense in the first place.
Admittedly, it did make 0 sense. So yeah, that's true.
It's like, it added more questions than it answered.
It added several questions, and it answered one question and asked 7. Like, what about Tanglefoot? What about grav drones? What about
seismic bomb?
Yeah, what about repulsor fields? Like, I don't know. Stop asking. It's like, jeez.
At least that was clarified to.
At least that was clarified, and they also FAQ'd the wording of the forest to specifically line up with the Death Guard wording. Oh.
Yep.
Tripping over my own words there.
Well,
which is good.
A lot of work went into these FAQs, and that's great.
Yes, that is
what
what I like to see. 100%.
All right, well, it's getting to that time. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Coming up, we got some really cool stuff. So tomorrow we have 2 stream games. One is on YouTube. That is going to be me playing my updated new AdMech list. That is Lucius and Mars.
Exciting
going
stuff.
up against Mr. Jack Harpster's Deathwatch army, which John has been vigorously painting.
Absolutely. We are getting there, folks. We're getting there.
And then in the War Room, we're going to do some ACO stress testing with Nick Nanavati playing his Drukhari list into John playing one of the other top lists that's going to be there.
Absolutely.
So tune in for that. They're going to be talking all about the different strategy and matchup theory involving in that.
It's going to be a super interesting matchup.
Yep, I can't wait for that. So check us out tomorrow, and then we're also going to be having some cool War Room promotional content on our YouTube channel. Those are available right now for members, but they'll be made public at the end of this week. So if you want to check out what a stress testing tournament session looks like in our weekly games, or what some of the strategy sessions are like, Nick did a list building one that we're going to be showing off. So keep your eyes peeled to the YouTube channel for that. And otherwise, thank you so much. We really appreciate everybody's support today. All those people, super chatting.
Absolutely.
Very much appreciated. If you want to join our Discord channel, major international community talking competitive 40K all the time, you can also join it through our YouTube membership. Which is one of the nice benefits. You get early access to the videos, like I mentioned. You get the sub badges and emotes.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be adding some other cool stuff to the membership very soon.
I'm excited for it.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
So long.
Competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.